Kelly K1 2.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Monday. It's August 12th, 2024. This is Community Conversations. Kelly Wonder is in the studio with you today. And join us as always on the second Monday of the month. We have Mr. Shamal Carter of the Craighead County NAACP. And of course, if you have been following along social media, I think you probably got a good idea of what we're going to talk about today. We're going to start off with some of the involvement that Shamal has been doing ever since Jonesboro Police Department released the video of the incident in which the police officer attacked the man that was in the back of the car while transporting him on the way to the jail. And before we actually get into Shamal's thoughts about that, just want to let everybody know there will be a town hall meeting tonight. It will be at New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 403 West Allen here in Jonesboro. It will be at 6 o'clock p.m. Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott will be there to take your questions about this incident and, of course, anything else that you may have on your mind just concerning the Jonesboro Police Department as well. So we definitely encourage you to come out to that tonight if you can. If you cannot, KLK, we will be there and we will stream the event and you can catch it that way. So with that being said, Shamal, I'll just let you have the floor.
Okay. First off, I would like to thank Kelly K, as always, for having me every second Monday. It is honestly, it is an honor to be here. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to not only have my voice be heard, but to inform and educate our community on what's going on in regards to issues. And so I'll first start out by saying, for those who follow me on social media, I'm not Shamal on social media. I'm actually Rico Carter on social media. There is a snippet of the video, and it's not the whole video. JPD posts the whole video. But there's a snippet of the video of the prisoner being assaulted by the JPD officer. And so I have been very vocal about it. Before we get knee deep in it, and the question that I have been asked since I got involved with this is, why are you involved? I am for right, no matter what color you are, no matter where you're from. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And so even though this young man is a Caucasian gentleman, it doesn't matter. His rights were violated. We were in a position in today's time where law enforcement don't have a great standing in especially the minority community. And so I think the biggest thing that really just kind of pushed me and made me feel some type of way is one of my children was watching the video with me. And while they were watching the video with me, the question was posed, wow, Daddy, what would have been the outcome if they were black? And so it's kind of stuck with me, because I have had several reach out to me that were African Americans that ended up in the hospital and that ended up with charges and that different things that happened. And so as that unfold, again, I can't say names or for their protection, but it kind of makes you wonder. And so immediately when I saw the video, again, if you go on my page, I went live the night of. I went live and I pretty much voiced it. I don't care if you are having a bad day. It shouldn't reflect in your job. I don't know what he was going through. Apparently, it wasn't just a bad day. This is a part of his behavior. I feel like this is something that should have been addressed before it got this egregious, before Chief had to step in and intervene. And this is what I try to get people to understand.
And let me just interrupt just for a second, because you mentioned about the history. And, of course, Stan Morris of NEA Report has reported on this history. So if you want to know more details, you can go on neareport.com and you can read that there.
Yes. So just something that you guys should take into account is we see this happen all the time. This just so happened after the George Floyd situation, the murder of George Floyd. I say situation, I had to go ahead and lay it out there. After the George Floyd murder, Chief Elliott was one of the first to implement the duty to intervene policy. Yes. So this policy, it holds the other officers accountable without them being looked at for whistleblowing. And so from the accounts from I'm told, the county, they intervened and they reported this. These acts that were happening. Again, it's painful to watch. If you have watched it, I can give you a brief overview of what happened. Like I said, the officer had picked the young man up. He's driving him to the counter. He opens the back door. He begins to punch him in his face. At this time, they're out on 901 Willett Road, which is almost to the jail. Opens the door, start punching him in his face. He goes from punching him in his face to elbowing him in his face, and the guy passes out. Another officer opens the back door, and they're trying to wake him up. He first tries to do a sternum rub with his fist, and it didn't work. So he grabs his baton and tries and aggressively does a sternum rub, and he wakes up from that. While he's moving from being hurt, the officer slams his head in the door. And he does it twice until the door finally closes. And then when the door closes, of course, the guy works his head out. Long story short, man, we don't know the extent of the injuries. Nothing has been reported on that side of it. But I have, on good authority, after speaking with the FBI and speaking to the prosecutors, that it is not being overlooked. And so tonight's town hall is for you to pretty much, we're going to have a conversation. Myself as the president, I'm going to speak to why we feel like this needs to be heard, and when there are grievances made to these officers, I feel like the account should be taken more serious. I know the Brothers in Blue theme is a big thing, and I respect that because I'll ride with my Masonic brothers through thick and thin. But when it comes to situations where people's lives are at stake, that's when we have to sit down and say, okay, does it take something this egregious to happen before we can make a decision on what we need to do about something like this? And so Chief Elliott, he called me. I sent a text message to Mayor Cope and to Tony and to Chief Elliott. I put them in a group text to show them that, look, I'm not finna go between one person or another. Right now, we need to address this. This was on a Saturday. We need to address this now. And I would have did it on Friday night, but I hadn't got as many facts as I had gotten by Saturday morning. I dug deep in, and so Chief Elliott called me that Saturday morning because I said we need to meet ASAP, and he was ready to meet with me on Saturday morning to give me the facts and let me know everything that was going on. One thing that really what I love about our chief is he's passionate and he is one that's going to go to bat. And so when it comes to the situation, normally if you see something like this, your officer is put on paid administrative leave. That did not happen with this situation. Once Chief was made aware of the situation, they tried to contact the gentleman all day. Finally, when he came in about 4 p.m. on Friday, Chief Elliott did not want to hear his side of it. Chief Elliott terminated him on the spot. He terminated him on the spot. And the question has been posed throughout the community, well, he was terminated. Why didn't he be arrested upon him being terminated? Well, that's something that I was told you have to dig deeper into because you want things to be done right and decent and in order. And so it's beyond the city. Like I said, the FBI has have been involved, and as well as the prosecutor's office, and not the city attorney, but the prosecutor's office. They're involved in it, and so we just have to trust the process. But you just have to trust that I'm not gonna let up. I'm gonna continue to fight until we have some answers or we have an indictment.
Of course, one of the other things that has been mentioned is there have been calls for this officer to be decertified so that
Yes.
he would not be able to be employed by another agency.
Mm-hmm. So so that was one of the first things that when I spoke with Chief, I told Chief, look, I understand everything else, and I'm respectful of that. But I said, not only do I want him, he's already terminated, but I need him to be decertified. Being decertified puts it in a position to where he can no longer practice law, not just in the state of Arkansas, but in anywhere. And this will follow him wherever he goes. And so he would have to essentially find another line of employment. But I'm hoping that employment is pressing plates at a federal prison or something. That's just my take on it. It is not right. And it shouldn't be tolerated, regardless of what race you are, where you come from, where you live at, how much money you have. That should not play a factor in how you're treated by public servants. And that's you took an oath to protect and serve, and like I told Chief, he made a statement a few months ago in regards to an issue that I had at the Brick House with a group of officers who tased a young man who had a metal rod in his leg to put him in the hospital and now has him on a walker. He made a comment that said you comply and then you complain. If you're in handcuffs, have you not already complied? That's my question.
I mean, you're kind of limited in what you can do in that situation.
Right. So we complained and we complained and we complained after we complied, and this is the result that we got from us complying and then quote unquote complaining. So now you have a community of people that's saying, okay, we tried it your way. And my stance in this is I'm trying to intervene before it gets to we tried it your way and now it's going to be our way. We're not going to take this because we won't be the next victim in the back seat of your car being beaten. You go back, and so this is the third instance that I can think of since I've been out of college here in Jonesboro, and only one of those or two of I believe was under Chief Elliott, but they were not under. It was not his control. He was out of his control, and they were dealt with. But you had the young man that was headed to the county a couple years ago, and something happened with him jumping out the window or something like that. But you go back a little farther under the reign of Chief Yates, Chavis Carter, who allegedly shot himself in the back of in the side of the head or in the temple while handcuffed after he had been patted down, et cetera, on a side street here in Jonesboro. This is the same. I think of the same thing when I think about the situation with this young man here who Mr. Billy is his name. I'm gonna stop saying the young man. His name is Billy. We look at this situation and we say, okay, all these instances, these alleged men are handcuffed. They're handcuffed. So what more complying can you do in that regard? I'm not here to stir up mess. I'm not here to stir up trouble, but we all have to be treated accordingly. We all have to be treated right. And in order for us to be treated right, you have to look at us not as beneath you, not as you being better than us, but we are citizens who essentially, from being a citizen, essentially you look at the fact that maybe we have broken the law. But we all have our day in court. You're not the judge, nor are you the jury, so you shouldn't be able to decide our fate.
Absolutely. And, of course, there is also this weekend going to be a protest march. I believe they're going to start at Main Street and work their way to the police station. I was actually trying to look up the time on it, but I couldn't find it. But if we get that, then, we can pass that on to you as well. So that is something to be looking at. I'm not sure who the organizer of this is, but obviously from our conversation, you can tell that this has really affected the entire community. This is one of those things that have brought people together across races and across the spectrum, because as you mentioned, this is not to say the other cases weren't, but this is definitely, what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you have your face up in the place tonight. New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 403 West Allen Avenue here in Jonesboro, 6 o'clock p.m. KLK, we will stream live. It is going to be a town hall. Chief Elliott will be there. He will answer your questions, your concerns. Of course, we do ask that you be respectful about it. We want to have a productive dialogue, not a shouting match.
Right. Right, and check this, and if you're listening to this, hear me out. If you have a grievance, file a formal complaint. If I can be honest with you, a town hall, if you don't have solutions to the problems and you just have problems, or you don't have answers and you're looking for answers, or whatever the case may be, it's not a shouting match. We're focusing on what we can do as a community, because I have a list of complaints, but I also have not solutions, but what's the word I'm looking for? Not solutions, but I have suggestions. Mm-hmm. If you have a suggestion, that's fine, but don't come yelling, because they've agreed to sit down with us. They didn't have to do that. So they're coming to the table to show that we want to be transparent across the board, and so that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. And, of course, is there anything else that people can look forward to or expect tonight?
I will address the community as well as Chief Elliott. Chief Elliott will be there for questions in regards to what, but understand that he's limited to what he can answer, because it's a ongoing investigation. But he will give you the answers from his side. The situation left his hands after he turned this over to the federal government. It's no longer a city government issue. The charges will be filed in a different court, and so there's only so many questions he can answer. He did let me know that the prosecuting attorney, which is Miss Sonia, she let me know that it is something. It is high priority, and it will be looked at with the fine tooth comb to see what charges can be filed, if charges can be filed.
Yeah, absolutely. Dang, we went through this 20 minutes pretty quickly. I don't even think we really got a chance to get to any other topics, but is there anything else with the NAACP that you want to let the listeners and viewers know about?
Yes, our Freedom Fund Gala, September the 28th at Centennial Hall, 6 p.m. I believe is the start time. Tickets are $50 a piece or $400 a table. It's an 8-seat table. See Miss Emma Agnew if you have any questions, if you would like to volunteer or help out in any way. That's all we have right now at the moment.
All right. That sounds good. Well, Shamal, or Rico, for as you know on social media, thanks as always for keeping the community informed. And thank you for all that you do. And congratulations on your musician appreciation, which was yesterday as well. Definitely got to show you some love for that. All right, it's going down tonight, 6 p.m., New Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church, 6 o'clock p.m., 403 West Allen Avenue. Please come out if you can. If you cannot, we will stream it live on KLK. KAIT will also be there, so I'm sure that they'll have something on the news tonight about it as well. That's going to do it for Community Conversations. You guys have a great and blessed day. This is KLK on 2.5 FM. I think this is the fastest that we ever had a segment go by.
Man, it didn't seem like